Hello, welcome back. I look bald because I just got out of the shower, got back from the beach, so I'm a little rosy. But today, I'm going to start using up some of my quilting scraps because my grandma found a bunch of free fabric and is sending it to me. And I have limited storage here because this is an apartment. So I want to get through some of these scraps. Plus, it's just fun to sew. So what I'm gonna do is I have like all of my fabric scraps color coded in bags in this big grocery bag. And I'm gonna go through color by color and oh, I think there's another one orange somewhere. Anyway, I'm gonna go through color by color and I'm just going to like freestyle sew them together. Not iron in between seams or anything. Just like freestyle sew them together until I get like an area that's larger than 6 by 6, and then put it aside. And then at the end, I'm gonna iron them all and cut them into 6 by 6 squares. I know there might be some weird folds and things since I'm not ironing in between seams, but you can kind of hold it tight. And when you're not trying to line up your corners or anything, because it's not like a pattern, it's not the end of the world. Like ironing really is important, obviously, if you're trying to line up your corners, but like there's gonna be no corners lining up here. So I'm gonna go through this bag, but any piece that's like big enough I could actually do something with, I'm not gonna do it. But like I have a lot of just like random pieces, which are amazing. So I'll be using those, and I have my scissors here so I can cut it into different shapes if I'm feeling like that. I'm excited. And I have my little 6 by 6 ruler here that I got from my creative reuse store. I'm gonna have it next to me just so I can kind of guesstimate the sizes of the blobs I'm gonna be sewing together, so I don't make them way too big and waste fabric, but then also so I don't like miss a corner or something and have to add on later when I'm gonna be doing the ironing. The goal is to make this as assembly line as possible, because really what I want to do today is just sit and watch my TV show, but I want to be productive and do something because I have energy because I just came from the beach. So I want to be able to sit here and sew it all together, and then sit over there and iron it all, and then sit over there and cut it all. And then hopefully I'll have a lot of 6 by 6 squares at the end of this, and we'll see what we want to do with it. Okay, so I've got all my scrappy little squares. I'm gonna iron them with tons of heat, tons of steam, and I have not even counted them. I don't even know how many I have. I'm just gonna iron them and cut them and then figure out what I'm gonna do with them after that. Look at these cuties. I still didn't count them, but I only have 1 orange and 2 yellow. The rest I have a little more of. But I was thinking about bordering them with something, but honestly, I kind of like the vibes they're giving off now. So I'm gonna try and lay them out and see if I can make even a throw-sized quilt. I probably don't even have enough for that. Okay, actually bigger than I expected. It's 3 by 3 roughly. So I think I'm gonna attach them like this and then figure out some sort of border, because I think it would be cute. Then it would be like 4, and then maybe I'll put more on the top and bottom. I don't know. I just kind of like how this is looking. It's kind of looking like stained glass to me at the moment. I did have 2 extra squares, 1 red and 1 blue. So maybe I'll incorporate those on like the corners or something. I don't know. But right now I'm just gonna attach these all together, and then I'm gonna put it aside, and maybe when I have more scraps down the line, I'll like add a border or something. So I've let this sit for a couple weeks, just trying to think about what to do with it. I was thinking I was gonna save it until I had even more scraps that I could make more squares and then just make a quilt out of it. But then I made some of these banners that if you follow my Instagram, you'll have seen me post them on there for like the different seasons and stuff. And then I made a banner for a gift for somebody for Christmas. I'm getting my Christmas stuff done early. And now I'm kind of obsessed with making banners, like quilted banners. So I feel like this is the perfect size to do a banner. So what I've done is gone through my scrap bag, like all the little guys that are too big to throw away but too small to do much else with. And I have kind of like come up with this concept in my head and cut out little pieces, and I'm going to interface all the big little pieces double-sided onto this thing and then quilt it all down and make like a little tapestry picture. So I'll show you here what I've got done so far. Initial concept in my brain was just a bear with antlers, but then it was looking a little empty and I wanted it to be a little more fun. So I added this star, and then I thought it would be funny if he was riding a trout. And then I was like, wait, it kind of looks like he's going off to battle. So I gave him a sword as well. I was kind of thinking about giving him a shield or putting something in this hand. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll put something else in this other hand. I'm not quite sure. But as you can see, there's like so many little tiny pieces. So this is definitely going to take me a long time to get all this on interfacing, but I'm going to stop for tonight because it's really late. So I'm back at it this morning and I'm going to be interfacing all of these little pieces. My only gripe with this layout is the way the fish is facing, because narratively, I think that the tail should be up here and the head should be down here. But because of the way this is already laid out, I think that there would be too many focal points on this side of the piece. Like, I think that the star would be here, the bear head, and then the fish head would be like there. And so then this side would be super empty, and I'd have to add something over here anyway, and I don't want to add something else. So I think that I'm going to sacrifice narrative for visual appeal. So I have the star all done. I'm loving how it's looking when it's not all wrinkled and stuff like these pieces over here. I'm doing it piece by piece because I don't want to mix up the little baby pieces. Like, each of these was like a piece I had to do. Because this is double-sided interfacing, obviously you can't put your iron on the sticky part when you're trying to attach these. I say obviously, but the first time I did this, I definitely made that mistake, which is why all this stuff is glued to this towel. So now it's my double-sided interfacing towel because I've already got glue all over it. But I don't want to have to cut out every single like one of these in this before I iron it. So the little thing that I do is I just like take little tip of my iron and tack down these pieces. I already did it before I started the video. That's why I'm going so fast, but usually you'd hold it on for longer. Just tack down the pieces. And then now that they're semi-attached to the paper, you can see they're not like all the way attached. I cut them out and then I iron them for real. So I don't have to cut so many things and try and figure out the shapes to fit the same way. Right, it's all ironed down and attached. It took me almost exactly 2.5 hours, and I'm really excited to quilt it because I feel like quilting is just gonna make the whole thing. And I'm not minding the fish facing a weird way. Here she is all finished and hung up. I didn't have any pieces of wooden dowel left that were long enough, but I kind of think it's cute to have the two, and I can always replace it with one later if I feel like it, but I think it's so cute. I wish that there was a little more contrast between the bear color and the blue background. Ideally, I guess I could have used a lighter brown, but I actually don't have any lighter brown than this. Like, this was basically all the brown that I actually had. So I wasn't trying to buy any new materials. Like, all of these are scraps from other projects. I didn't even cut into any of my project fabric. Like, everything came out of my scrap bag. Also, I quilted a quote from a poem I wrote in it as well. That's just like super subtle. You can't really see it unless you know what you're looking for, which I like. And it fits underneath my artwork there. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have done something creative today. And if you haven't, go and do it. Bye.